Hi folks, this video is about the law on sexting in the state of Alabama. First thing you need to know is that there is no specific law on sexting in the state of Alabama. It doesn't mean it's legal, and in fact, it is illegal. There are a number of laws in Alabama that cover the issues that generally occur when people do what we commonly refer as sexting. Let's talk about that. The first thing is that the nature of what specifically is done and the age of the parties involved often will determine how these cases are handled. For example, when you have juveniles who are doing this kind of thing, the case is most likely to go to a juvenile court, and if an underage person is found to have committed this crime, they're going to be adjudicated a delinquent. But the consequences are far less serious than when it involves adults. Now, when it involves an adult and a minor, we're starting to get into some heavy-duty criminal charges. Let's talk about that, because there's, again, more than one way, and even when the same crime has occurred, it can be viewed differently. So let me talk about some of these common ones. One of them is the dissemination of obscene materials. That would be, for instance, let's say you have a 55-year-old guy, and he takes a picture of his privates, he sends it to his 14-year-old neighbor. If he has done that and transmitted the image by electronic means, and he's done so for purposes of trying to solicit some sort of sexual activity, then that would be that crime. And that person could be facing 2 to 20 years in the state penitentiary, as well as if they were convicted, they would be registered as a sex offender, and Alabama's sex offender registration and notification laws would kick in. Alabama's laws in that particular area are considered about the harshest in the nation. So somebody who's done that is not only facing the criminal charge, but the fact of the registration and notification. Now let's twist it up a little bit. Let's say this time it is a 18-year-old guy, and he sends a picture of his privates to his 15-year-old girlfriend. It's the same crime with potentially the same punishment. However, because of his age and certain aspects of Alabama law, there's a good possibility that the prosecutors and the courts would treat him differently than in the case of the 55-year-old. It's not necessarily so. It could go very badly for him as well, but my suspicion is that all things being equal, and if he didn't have much of a record, he'd be in better shape than the other fellow. Of course, that's not the only law that would apply in these circumstances. Let's take an 18-year-old. At this time, he says to his underage girlfriend, 15 or whatever, he says, "Hey, you're really hot. Will you send me a naked selfie?" She complies. He is guilty of possession of obscene materials. If he's gotten a picture on his phone of an underage girl and where she is either doing something of a sexual nature or showing her areas that are not to be shown in public, that's a crime. Now let's say that he also takes that same image, and by the way, that crime is a Class C felony, a year and a day to 10 years in prison potentially for him. Not saying that's what would happen, but it could happen. Again, the SORNA laws, the Sex Offender Registration and Notification Act laws would apply. Well, let's say the same guy thinks, "Wow, she looks really good. I'm gonna show my buddies." He picks up his cell phone, sends it out to 4 or 5 of his friends. They're all impressed, it doesn't matter. He now has committed a different crime, and that's distribution of obscene materials. Again, because the girl is underage, he's distributed obscene materials. That's a felony, 2 to 20 in prison. Again, registration. So there's a variety of case law that apply to sexting. If she is of age, and let's say she's 20 and he's 20, or she's 25 and he's 25, and he same thing, he says, "Hey, send me some pictures, honey." She does, and now without her permission he sends them out. He could be, and she meant them only, she says, she sends them back, she says, "For your eyes only." He gets mad, they break up, he puts it up on Facebook or whatever. That's a revenge porn, and there's laws in Alabama about that as well. So if you're somebody who finds yourself in this kind of position, or somebody you love finds yourself in one of these positions, you need to talk to an attorney. You should do so as quickly as possible. If your case is here in North Alabama and you'd like our help, feel free to give us a call. Our phone number's down below. These videos are meant to be educational and informative. I hope you found it to be that. If you like it and you want to give us the thumbs up, that's great. If you want to see more videos, if you'd hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm attorney Andy Siegel.